How's everybody? My name is Ben. Yeah, I'm pretty tired. I'm really tired, actually. Not sure why, but it's been longer than I wanted it to be since I made a video, and by that I mean like a week, because I can't even remember what happened in the video last week. The video for this week, though, I do remember that. I was going to make Strugglecraft Hunger Games, but I accidentally deleted the whole thing, and I didn't really have enough time in the week to remake it. I mean, this week I've just been doing thing after thing after thing, so I've been trying to think of a quick video. I mean, I haven't even had time to make a figure this week, so I feel really bad about that. So I decided to pull out. I have this old bucket that I kept in my room right here, and it's basically full of like figures that are like, I don't know, just that I didn't finish, or most of them are actually very nostalgic figures to me, and I've wanted to review them for a long time, and I thought it would be finally a good time to. So most of these figures are nostalgic figures that either taught me something or just that I really liked, but like I didn't want to take apart or something. I don't know. But yeah, I'm going to start out with two, because there are two in here that are exceptions to this. To what the rest of them are, because most of these are completed figures that are just really old, but I do have two figures in here that are uncompleted JustANerd figures. So I'll give you three guesses as to who. These are both Cartoon Network characters. This was going to be Gumball and Garnet from Steven Universe. So yeah. These figures are two, or actually I can't remember about Garnet, but I know for certain that Gumball came at a time in my customizing career that I was just going through something that I just did not want to customize. I know a lot of my customizing friends are going through something like that right now, and I just felt unmotivated. I just didn't really actually want to do it at the time, and so I would just start figures like this and just never finish them. And Gumball's really the only one of that era that remained. So yeah, he would just never complete it. I would just start them and then just stand up and walk away and leave them sitting there. So I don't know. It's kind of sad that he sat here blank face for years, but you know, he's still special to me. Garnet, on the other hand, I think I actually made during, while I was making the Smash Bros. Figures, but again, I don't know, I felt unmotivated. I was really just making these because people love my Steven Universe customs, and a lot of people wanted me to at least make Garnet to finally complete them, and I never did, because actually, one figure, I was going to save this for later, but this is the only character that has two figures in the bucket. I did have a Garnet in here that I had made alongside my other Steven Universe figures, but she just looked so awful that I didn't want to put her in the video. So I was going to make another with the, Lego Batman movie belt and sculpted chest and everything, but it all fell apart. I don't know. This video may make me a little sad, but the rest of these are happy experience. Just those two, I don't know. But this Garnet was an awful figure. I'm just, like, the fact that even I, back in like 2015, realized this was a bad figure that I didn't want to upload onto YouTube just says it all. It's just really bad. The paint job's awful. I used like green legs. I don't even know. I didn't even paint the hands under the gloves. Yeah, that figure sucked. Not even gonna like try to defend it or anything. But the big guy in here is actually a big guy. This is an old figure I used to have on my Spider-Man display. This was a giant Venom. I still don't know why Lego has not made a Venom big fig, because they do in like all the Lego games, and even this like new Lego Spider-Man movie they made. So a long time ago I made a brick built one that I think actually looked pretty good. This was based on some old customizer I used to watch all the time, but now I can never find him. And so he made his to where it could open and close. But since Old Ben used the worst paint ever, I can't actually open and close it. But that was definitely one of my best paint jobs of then. Those Venomized, they don't look really good now, but whatever. And then I used this plate piece. I remembered was super new whenever I made this figure. So yeah, I had to paint that black, and then I painted the little spider symbol on there. But I don't know. I think it's a pretty cute sort of big fig. So going into here some more. Here we have Mega Man. This is my old Mega Man. And he does have a gun in here somewhere. Yeah, a lot of these figures are falling apart, so they just have parts laying around. Oh, there it is. But this was a figure I actually made in a rush one time for a birthday card I was making. I wanted to put a bunch of video game characters on it, and I had a custom of Pac-Man and Sonic that are both in here, and then some Minecraft characters, but that was really it. So, I don't know, I wanted to make another one, so I made Mega Man. I wasn't really that even into him, then I just liked him in Smash Bros. But yeah, I do think the face turned out pretty good for my stuff then. It was on a Haggard face, it looks like. Yeah, it's hard to review these because I don't know. And I used a stud shooter for it. I wonder if I can actually shoot studs. We're going to test this out. It can actually shoot studs. That's so fun, but it did fall off. I may do that again for my new Mega Man figure that I'm going to make eventually. I haven't given up on the Smash Bros. Project. It's just being delayed a little more. I got to get through Undertale. Oh, and speaking of Undertale. There should be some Undertale figures in here. Yes, you. And where's the other? Oh, the other is. There it is. Doo-doo-doo-doo. Just 1 second. So here they are. So they're in pieces as well. But the first up is Papyrus, and a lot of you guys, these are some that are actually on the channel. Most of these aren't. They're from before then. But Papyrus and Sans were on the channel for my first custom review. I've kept them together. Not in good shape, though. And the thing is, I do still make Undertale figures. These are one of the only projects that I still make. And I actually have remade both of these guys. And these versions, regardless, look a lot better. And, I mean, this Sans sucks, and I'm going to be redoing him, but he looks better than this one. And definitely the Papyrus looks way better now. Because, I don't know, now, I made this, like, before I had actually played Undertale, but now I've played it a lot, and more than I've played it, I've drawn the characters, and so I didn't even use reference art for these two. These were just, you know, from what I've been drawing for so many years, 4 years, I guess. By the way, happy birthday, Undertale. Never made a video for that. But, yeah, I never reviewed this guy, but he's going to get reviewed soon. He kind of had a review, but, yeah, you can watch the review for these two. I may link it up there if I'm not super lazy later. Next up is a very important figure to me because this was not a figure I made. In fact, and I think I have another one like this somewhere, but I'm not sure where it is. This was a figure Jude made. Because I wanted to make it with Jude, but I had to do something, so he did it by himself. I wanted to make Baymax from Big Hero 6, and I wanted to use the Buzz Lightyear body, because I thought it was really cute. And, oh my gosh, that's where my Monster Fighter's head is. I've been looking for this. That's awesome. I have one more completed Monster Fighters figure. But yeah, there was a custom face for him, but I don't know where that went. It sucked, so I took it off. And yeah, I think Jude, I think I actually did some as well, but Jude did a lot of it, and that was one of the figures he made. I do have one more figure in here that he made. Jude didn't make that many figures, but I don't know. When he does, I like to keep him. This one was not one I was happy about, though. I started making a custom, like, classic Spider-Man with just, like, more vibrant colors, which I think was a really cool idea. But I had to go to a friend's birthday party, and I know some of the people that were at that party watched this video. It was the one that I tried to climb up onto someone's shoulders and like broke my neck or something, or just I don't know, I broke my something. I hope people remember that. I hope that's not just me. But yeah, I had to go do that. And Jude finished the figure for me. He made the legs and stuff, which he did a pretty good job. Because this was before I sanded my legs like I do now, so the paint has scratched away. And you'll see that on most of these figures. But yeah, there's that Spider-Man Jude made for me. Very special. And I have a lot of Spider-Man figures in here. This one is not much of a custom, but only the top is. This was a head that I made, and I was so proud of it. I still think this was really cool. It was a motorcycle helmet that I filled in the gap right here with some just like old Play-Doh. It was really gross because it was like all dry and stuff. I did not have any good sculpting then, and I think these are actually some of the best Spider-Man lines I've done. Like, honestly, I'm not good at Spider-Man lines. But yeah, other than that, it was just the bridge battle set figure with just like some normal face underneath. But I was just so proud of that, and I still think that's awesome. I've never done that for another Spider-Man, but I feel like I could because it looks pretty great. Some more Marvel figures in here. We got Groot here. I actually made multiple Groots. I think I made 3 like this and then a couple of brick-built ones. I loved Groot. And you will notice his arms were replaced. I took the Woody arms off to make something, or to start making something, and I think I just never even finished it. So, yeah, he used the Woody parts and all, so it didn't look like this. His arms were taller. But I used this yellow clay for, like, all my old figures that just, like, didn't even dry at all. So I can just, like, press down into that, and it just came off. So a lot of these, you'll notice, are, like, flaky yellow. And it came with, like, the pack that I got came with, like, 4 different colors, but I always use yellow for some reason. But somehow the eyes have sort of survived, and so has some of the coloring on the torso or whatever. But yeah, I did use toothpicks still then. I've always used toothpicks. But yeah, that was pretty great figure. I got some more Spider-Mans in here. Spider-Man 2099. This was way before he got an official Lego figure. I believe this one, I don't know about this one, but I know at least a couple in here. What's that? Something weird in my mouth. Were actually made by a friend of mine. He would come over to my house, and he thought it was so cool that I would customize, and he would make them with me. And last time I checked, it's been a while since I've seen him. Last time I checked, he watched my videos, but that was a while ago. Yeah, he used to be my neighbor. He was really cool. But yeah, this is 2099 Spider-Man. He is actually a really good figure. I kept him for a long time until recently I made the new Spider-Man display, which is one of my most popular videos. And yeah, I actually made like details on the back. I don't do that anymore, really. Yeah, he was basically just painted blue and just I added what the crap? Just some red details to him. I think he's really cute. All these I'm going to say cute for, because I don't know, it would just Little Ben. But yeah, it looks like this guy's missing his arms, but I know this one my friend and I made. We really liked Ultimate Spider-Man, so we made a lot of Ultimate Spider-Man figures. This one was Iron Spider. He's lost his arms apparently, and his pincers. But yeah, this was before that they made the official one. It looks like it's using a Batman torso too. I didn't use many layers then. Yeah, the spider looks really great on this one. And I did I just use a full-on Batman body? It's all gray. What kind of head I used, I wonder? That's a scarecrow head. But yeah, I don't know. He didn't look that great even then. Let's see. Who else we got in here? Do I have some more Spider-Mans? Oh, here is one. This was one of my favorites. This was Spider-Knight, which I don't know if he's even part of the comics. I think he was only part of the Ultimate Spider-Man show. And it looks like that is where Oh, this was just a full-on Knight figure. I was like, where did all these pieces come from? But yeah, this was just, I want to see what torso this is. Oh, that is Chris Bradford from Ninja Turtles. I'm just learning a lot from this video. But yeah, I just used a motorcycle helmet for this, and I turned the visor upside down so it had a cooler effect. I just thought this was such a cool figure, and because I don't think anyone else has ever done it, because I think I was the only one who liked Ultimate Spider-Man. Ultimate Spider-Man was a really good show. Can we get some love for Ultimate Spider-Man? That was like one of my favorite shows when I was younger. Favorite thing on Disney. Oh, here's that other figure Jude made. I was looking for this. I think this was a character he made up, like a robot guy that he had an Imaginext of, and so he had like come up with the whole story for it and everything. Very cute figure. He was very young then, as you can tell. He has a figure of Beast Boy that he made somewhere hidden from the rest of the world. But here's a really cool figure, actually. This was my Civil War Spider-Man, another one that there's been a review of, so I'll keep this brief. And my battery is low, so I'll keep this even more brief. What is in my mouth? I swear. But yeah, I used some very globby red paint. Luckily, I fixed that because I used that kind of paint forever. And then this was one of the only figures that I used Sharpie on, or this really thin Sharpie. And I think it turned out really great for Spider-Man details. I should try to do that again because that looks really great on that figure, honestly. I think we have three more Marvel figures in there. Next up is one of my oldest, Human Torch. This one was definitely made by that friend of mine and me. But yeah, this was a very early custom. He had a golden face. This was just when I used my mom's paint. I didn't even have my own paint. And just like very simple stuff. This looks like a Ninjago body. Yeah. And just all red, except for the legs, very obviously. And I just painted it with like oranges and yellows and stuff. And there's a hair on it, which is disgusting. Yuck. Whatever, I can't get it off. But his face is really hard to see because it was in gold paint. It's really hard to see gold paint, but yeah, whatever. Let's see, we got Vision from Civil War. Reviewed this guy before, but he just basically, used taken off his foot and put a little piece at the end to create his foot. Now for Visions, I use a belt piece. But then I did that, which, I don't know, I don't think that looked very good. And his foot just came off. He only had one foot left, and it came off, so whatever. But the last Marvel figure is the most important to me, I think, because this is the most recent figure in this bucket. This would be my Korg, and a lot of people say, "Oh no, Ben, what happened to your Korg?" And this isn't the Korg I actually used. This is the Korg I actually used, because I did buy two things and all. But yeah, basically, I painted him first, and then I sculpted all these details with oven clay on, and then I put him in the oven, so he ended up melting and just being unable to use, even like everything melted on him. So I was very upset that day, and I was going to throw him out, but my mom encouraged me to keep him, and that's actually how this box started. And then I just went back and found all these old figures that I just had like lying around and put them in here. This video is getting long, so I'm not going to talk much more. But yeah, that was a very, very cool figure for me. Very good experience. Back to some gaming characters. This guy can't stand up because he has no legs. But this is Tails. And another figure that was really great then. And I think that sculpt for the face actually turned out really well. I made a Tails very recently that is kind of better. It's way better. But yeah, here, I think this was actually one of my last figures before I gave up on customizing for that 2016 period. But yeah, he was pretty good. I was always really proud of him. And I have some old videos somewhere of me showing how to make him, how to make Tails. And you can't have Tails without Sonic. This figure I was not as happy with ever. I had sketched out like a whole notebook of designs for a Sonic figure, I remember that. And then I got to making it, and it was just this. It was awful. Yeah, so this scares me, so I'm not going to talk about it anymore. It's like 20 minutes long now. I'm almost done, I promise. And we have more Pac-Mans, because what would a JustANerd video figures be without Pac-Mans? This one I did use green clay for. This was back in my Flickr days. Some of you may remember that. I very much liked those days. And I actually have two Pac-Mans in here. This one I made later, but I think it looks worse. But this one was way too small. And I left this part on there for some reason because I didn't have any way to like remove it. I didn't sand or anything then. But yeah, I had like sculpted his little gloves and stuff. And he had a nose poked in there, and so did he. But I lost both of their noses. He is just terrifying. I don't like him. Just a couple left. This was an Ultron that I just straight up never even painted. I had him for a very long time. This right here is Rad from whatever that show's called. I can't even remember right now. OKKO. Whenever it first came out, I really liked it. And this was during that customizing drought because I was really bored one morning and I had this figure that had been sitting on the table for a week and I couldn't do media until school started, so I decided to make him. Decided to finally finish him. So yeah, kind of a sad way to make a figure, but whatever. I had made him, and I stole his afro for Nick Fury. Just two left. These two I actually still keep on my minifigure wall, but I only just because I just don't have any other versions of them. I do need to remake them. This is Dipper and Mabel. I made them a very long time ago. I did give Mabel a grappling hook accessory like way later. But yeah, they're not good at all. I don't even know why I use these faces for them. They don't even look like them at all. But yeah, I just did a lot of bad sculpting, which kind of ruined them. Because if it wasn't for the hair pieces and stuff, these would be pretty good figures. But I don't know, I kind of ruined them with the sculpted hair. We got two last things. They're not even, only one of them's actually a figure. And then I just have miscellaneous pieces in there for some reason. This is the first ever JustANerd Productions minifigure. And if you have somehow stuck around with me for 20 minutes to look at these, you are very lucky to see the first JustANerd minifigure. And this is the worst because, like an imbecile, like a dumb person, I used spray paint for this figure. The blue on here was actually spray paint. And so he has no way to move. He can't move at all. All these pieces are stuck in place. Because I had two Beetle figures for some reason. I don't even know why. But yeah. He was, he's very special to me because of how old he is. And then I just painted some black details on there. I mean, globbed red eyes on. That was when I liked DC more than Marvel. But now times have changed. Last thing in here, I should have done this first. This was actually not even a figure. This went with my Venom, my Lego Venom minifigure that I made for the movie Venom. Because I had this giant Batman minifigure that I had to, like, sand the helmet off of, which it took so long. It was a week and all to make that figure just because I had to take that off. That took so long. But I guess that's the video. Thank you for watching. I may not even like put an intro into this or any editing at all, just because I don't know, it's gonna like take up like all my phone data if I do. So thank you for sticking through this boring video and looking at this mound of horrible customs. If you like customs, I actually make good ones now. These are bad. But I do make good ones now, so stick around for those. And I was about to say bye-byes, but that was Sumner's old thing. Stay nerdy, friends. That's what mine is.